The biggest lie weak men believe is that comfort is harmless. They think comfort is just rest, just a break, just one more easy day. But comfort is never just comfort. Comfort is a slow trap. It doesn't destroy a man in one dramatic moment. It destroys him quietly. It teaches him to avoid effort, delay pain, and choose what feels good instead of what builds strength. That's how men become average. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they keep choosing ease over growth. A weak man wakes up and asks, "What do I feel like doing today?" A strong man wakes up and asks, "What must be done no matter how I feel?" That is the difference. Weak men are ruled by emotion. Strong men are ruled by standards. And if you want to become powerful, disciplined, respected, and dangerous in the best way possible, you must stop building your life around comfort. Because comfort will never make you proud of yourself. Comfort will let you sleep in while your goals die. Comfort will let you scroll while your future disappears. Comfort will let you talk big and live small. Comfort will whisper, "You deserve a break," even when you haven't earned one. That is why comfort is so deadly. It speaks like a friend, but it acts like an enemy. The gym is uncomfortable. Waking up early is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Sacrifice is uncomfortable. Telling yourself the truth is uncomfortable. But everything that changes a man begins there. Strength is not built when life is easy. It is built when your body wants comfort, but your mind chooses growth. It is built when nobody is watching, nobody is clapping, and nothing feels exciting, but you still do the work. That is what separates men. Weak men need motivation to move. Strong men move even when motivation is gone. Because real growth is not emotional. It is intentional. You are not going to become the man you want to be by waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect mindset. That day is not coming. If you only move when you feel inspired, you will stay stuck for years. The strongest men in the world are not the ones who always feel ready. They are the ones who learn how to act while feeling tired, uncertain, and uncomfortable. That is real power. Anyone can feel strong when life is smooth. Anyone can feel confident when things are going their way. But the true measure of a man is what he does when life gets heavy. When the alarm goes off and he wants to stay in bed. When the work gets boring and he wants to quit. When progress is slow and he wants to give up. When nobody believes in him and he still keeps moving. That is where strong men are made. Not in comfort, in resistance. And here's the truth most men avoid. Your life right now is a reflection of what you've been willing to tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, your life will stay weak. If you tolerate excuses, your future will stay small. If you tolerate distraction, your mind will stay broken. You cannot build a powerful life with weak habits. At some point, every man has to decide who is in control, his feelings or his future. Because if your feelings lead, you will always choose what is easy. But if your future leads, you will choose what is necessary. That is what strong men understand. They understand that pain is temporary, but regret lasts. They understand that discipline hurts now, but weakness hurts longer. They understand that growth costs something, and they are willing to pay. So stop chasing comfort like it owes you something. Comfort has stolen enough from you already. It stole your mornings. It stole your consistency. It stole your focus. It stole the version of you that could have been stronger by now. Now it is time to take your life back. Do the hard thing. Wake up earlier. Train harder. Think sharper. Speak less. Execute more. Become the kind of man who does not run from pressure, but rises through it. Because weak men chase comfort. But strong men chase growth. And growth is where your real life begins. Most men never fail because they are incapable. They fail because they never stay in the fire long enough to change. The moment life gets hard, they retreat. The moment the work becomes boring, they stop. The moment pain shows up, they run back to comfort like it is home. And that is exactly why they remain the same year after year. Same excuses, same habits, same weak mindset, same empty promises, same average life. They want transformation, but they are addicted to convenience. And convenience has made a generation of men mentally fragile. A lot of men today look grown, but they are not built. They have age, but not endurance. They have opinions, but not discipline. They have dreams, but no proof of sacrifice. Because the truth is simple. Every strong man you admire became strong by surviving what weaker men avoid. He faced the mornings he didn't want. He embraced the work nobody wanted to do. He kept going when results were invisible. He learned how to suffer without turning into a victim. That is what growth really is. Growth is not a quote. It is not a mood. It is not some exciting burst of motivation you feel after watching a video. Growth is ugly. Growth is waking up tired and still showing up. Growth is being overlooked and still staying locked in. Growth is carrying pressure without complaining. Growth is being alone with your goals and not needing applause to continue. That is where real men are built, not in noise, in repetition. The truth is, your future will not be shaped by your intentions. It will be shaped by what you repeat when nobody is forcing you. If every day you repeat distraction, laziness, inconsistency, and excuses, then weakness becomes your identity. But if every day you repeat discipline, effort, focus, and self-control, then strength becomes your nature. That is why habits are more powerful than emotion. Emotion changes every hour. Standards do not. A weak man lives by how he feels. A strong man lives by what he said he would do. That is honor. That is self-respect. That is masculinity at its core. Keeping promises to yourself. Because every time you say, I'm going to change, and then do nothing, you slowly lose trust in yourself. And once a man loses trust in himself, he becomes dangerous in the worst way. Not to others, but to his own future. He starts lowering his standards. He starts making peace with mediocrity. He starts telling himself lies to avoid the truth. I'll start next week. I'm just tired. I need more motivation. It's not the right time. No, you don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. You need to stop negotiating with weakness. You need to stop having conversations with a version of you that wants to stay soft. Because every day you entertain weakness, you feed it. And what you feed will eventually control you. That is why strong men are ruthless with themselves. Not hateful, not toxic, not reckless. Ruthless. They cut off what weakens them. They remove distractions. They master their impulses. They stop living like life is a game. Because life is not waiting for you to feel ready. Life keeps moving. And every day you waste choosing comfort, someone else is building the life you keep talking about. Someone else is training while you are sleeping. Someone else is learning while you are scrolling. Someone else is suffering for the future you say you want. That should wake you up. Because if you truly want a different life, you must become a different man. A man who can handle boredom. A man who can handle pain. A man who can handle silence. A man who can handle pressure without folding. That is power. Not flexing. Not talking loud. Not pretending to be alpha online. Real power is self-control. Real power is discipline in private. Real power is emotional stability under stress. Real power is being able to carry your responsibilities without running from them. And here is what most men never understand. The hard things you keep avoiding are the exact things that would set you free. The early morning would sharpen your mind. The workout would strengthen your spirit. The sacrifice would build your character. The discipline would give you confidence. The consistency would change your entire life. But weak men only see the discomfort. Strong men see the reward hidden inside it. That is why they win. Not because life is easier for them, but because they stopped asking life to be easy. They became harder. And that is your next level. Not a new excuse. Not another motivational clip. Not another promise you break by tomorrow. A decision. A real one. A line in the sand. A moment where you finally say, I am done living beneath my potential. Because once you truly decide, everything changes. Now the pain has purpose. Now the discipline has meaning. Now the struggle becomes training. And once a man starts seeing struggle as training, he becomes almost impossible to break. That is the man you must become. Not the man who needs comfort to function, but the man who can function under pressure. Not the man who runs when life gets hard, but the man who gets harder when life does. That is how respect is earned. That is how confidence is built. That is how a weak man disappears, and a stronger man is born. Most men want the reward of strength without paying the price that strength demands. They want confidence without discipline. They want respect without sacrifice. They want a powerful life without doing powerful things. But life does not work that way. You do not become strong by talking about becoming strong. You become strong by doing what weak men refuse to do again and again and again. That is the price. And most men avoid it because the price is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to wake up before sunrise when your bed feels warm. It is uncomfortable to train when your body feels heavy. It is uncomfortable to stay focused when your mind wants distraction. It is uncomfortable to keep going when nobody sees your effort. But those are the exact moments that shape you. Because every hard moment asks one question. Who are you when comfort is no longer available? That is the real test of a man. Not how you perform when life is easy. Not how confident you sound when people are watching. Not how motivated you feel after hearing something inspiring. The test is who you become when things get repetitive, painful, lonely, and hard. That is where weak men fall apart. They need constant excitement. They need fast results. They need validation. They need life to feel good before they commit. And because of that, they never build anything real. Strong men are different. They understand that greatness is boring before it becomes legendary. It is built in ordinary days, in repeated effort, in silent discipline, in showing up long after the excitement disappears. That is what separates winners from everyone else. The man who keeps going after the feeling fades is the man who changes his life. Because the truth is, motivation is temporary, but identity is powerful. If you still see yourself as a man who quits, you will always find a reason to stop. If you still see yourself as a man who avoids pain, you will always run when pressure arrives. So your first battle is not with the world. It is with yourself, with your excuses, with your laziness, with your weak habits, with the voice inside your head that keeps telling you to take the easy way out. That voice has robbed enough from you. It has stolen your time. It has stolen your discipline. It has stolen the stronger version of you that should already exist by now. Now it is time to kill that version of yourself. Not physically, mentally. Kill the weak mindset. Kill the soft habits. Kill the addiction to ease. Kill the part of you that keeps choosing comfort over purpose. Because if you do not destroy your weakness will destroy your future. This is where men are divided. One man keeps making excuses and slowly becomes forgettable. The other chooses pain, pressure, and growth, and becomes someone even he can respect. That second man is not special. He is just honest. Honest enough to admit he needs to change. Honest enough to stop blaming life. Honest enough to accept that no one is coming to save him. And once a man understands that, he becomes dangerous in the best possible way. Because now he stops waiting. He starts building. He stops complaining. He starts executing. He stops asking for comfort. He starts demanding more from himself. And that is where your transformation begins. The day you stop chasing what feels easy and start chasing what makes you stronger. Because weak men chase comfort. Strong men chase growth. And if you keep choosing growth long enough, one day you will look in the mirror and see a man you no longer need to lie to. A man built by discipline. A man sharpened by pain. A man forged through pressure. A strong man. In the end, every man becomes what he repeatedly chooses. Not what he says. Not what he plans. Not what he dreams about late at night. What he chooses. And that is why your life does not lie. If your life feels weak, distracted, average, and undisciplined, it is because somewhere along the way, comfort became more important than growth. That truth may sting, but it can also save you. Because once you stop lying to yourself, you can finally start rebuilding yourself. You do not need a new personality. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need to wait for the right season. You need a decision, a real decision, a decision that says, I will no longer live like a man controlled by comfort. I will no longer betray my own potential. I will no longer choose what is easy over what is necessary. That is where the new man begins. Not when life gets easier, but when you get stronger. Because strength is not something you talk about. It is something you prove. You prove it in the morning when you get up without excuses. You prove it in the gym when your body wants to stop, but you keep pushing. You prove it in your work when you stay focused while others stay distracted. You prove it in private when nobody is watching and you still stay disciplined. That is what makes a man powerful. Not comfort, not convenience, not empty words. Standards. A strong man has standards too high to live weak. He knows pain is temporary. He knows sacrifice is necessary. He knows growth costs something, and he pays the price anyway. Because he understands something weak men never do. Everything meaningful in life is earned through resistance. Confidence is earned. Discipline is earned. Respect is earned. Peace is earned. Self-respect is earned. And all of it lives on the other side of discomfort. So if you want a stronger body, embrace hard training. If you want a stronger mind, embrace pressure. If you want a stronger life, embrace responsibility. Stop running from the things that can build you. Run toward them. Because every challenge in front of you is giving you a choice. Stay soft or become forged. Stay comfortable or become dangerous. Stay the same or become the man you were meant to be. The weak man inside you will always beg for ease. But the stronger man inside you is waiting for you to choose discipline. Choose him. Again tomorrow. Again next week. Again when it is hard. Again when it is boring. Again when nobody notices. And if you do that long enough, your entire life will change. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally became the kind of man who refuses to stay weak. Weak men chase comfort. Strong men chase growth. So decide who you are and live like it